So the next part of our uh, lecture is related with the historical roots of modern psychology. Uh, there are some of the concepts and there are some of the philosophy associated with the concept of historical roots are related with historical roots. Psychology has a long past but only a short history uh, with the with you can say that with the decades 12 or so many decades, psychology has led an important and active life, developing gradually into a true science. As part of the evolution, it has produced a number of conceptual models uh, with the approaches, theories, interrelated ideas and concepts, and used to you can say that and used to we can say that and used to the guided and work being carried out are to explain the phenomena as well. So the earlier philosophies and the concepts were important because they gave the outline. With the help of the modern ideas were developed and further formulated. Herman has explained the psychology has a long past but only a short history. Wilhelm set the foundations of modern psychology in 1879 by establishing the first psychology laboratory in Germany, in Leipzig, Germany. Man was always curious about human behavior, the nature of the consciousness, origin of madness, emotions, and much more about other people's nature. Control and desirable modification of behavior interested man. He always wanted to become powerful and be able to make others do what he wanted them to do. So these are some of the basics things. These are some of the basics aspects which are related with the philosophies and the concepts of psychology. Other thing, when we are talking about the historical roots of the modern psychology, psychology did not exist in its present form thousands of years ago. Its application can be traced even at that stage of history. Uh, the following facts indicate that man was always interested in understanding and managing psyche and behavior, and was capable of controlling and modifying it. So, if we see that, if we can take the examples associated with these concepts, so when we're talking about the domestication concept of the dogs was practiced even 10,000 years ago. Babylonians made speculations about uh, the concepts and tried to cure it accordingly. Egyptians performed crude brain surgery thousands of years ago. Evidence is available through the examination of ancient human skeletons uh, a million years ago, and so many other things are related with the conceptions and with the philosophy, the modern concepts, which is currently is practicing in the 21st century. The basic, when we're talking about brain and when we're talking about the man skeleton and the others experimentation is concerned, or the previous experimentations concerned, was the abnormal behavior was caused by the supernatural beings. Such evidence suggests that man sought explanation of human behavior and tried to control it according to the explanation he believed in. ancient explanation centered to on the supernatural, gods, evil spirits, and demons, etc. These are all the supernatural, you can say that. So, the psychology is associated with the study of soul, you can say that, study of mind, study of conscious experience, study of behavior. These are all associated uh, with the with the concepts and with the phases in the history of the psychology. Today, psychology is considered as the scientific uh, study of human behavior and mental process, but the case was always not so. Initially, the soul of man entrusted the philosophers, then mind and conscious experience, and lastly, observable behavior. So these are all the associated things with the concepts of psychology. Psychology is basically the combination of two Greek words, psyche and logis. Already explained to you in my previous lecture. You can see it. Psychology was also defined as the science of mind, but psychologists were never satisfied with this definition because of the fact is mind was a vague term that could not be defined in objective terms. So, so mind and mental experiences were primarily subjective in nature. Therefore, the later psychologists switched their positions and began investigations into behavior that was an objective and observable phenomena. So it should not be surprising for a student of psychology that definitions of psychology has varied considerably over the years, you can say that, according to the theoretical orientation of a particular schools. And when we see the modern psychology is no longer interested in the study of mind, mental process have substituted mind. So keep in mind that the, the modern psychology is talking about a mental process. The mind approach in psychology was rejected, and, we can say that no longer exist, and the mind cannot be studied using scientific procedures. Besides, there is no scientific way to determine whether an entity such as mind actually exists. So this is very important. Also, those who used the word mind or mental process were not anonymous in their explanation of the very nature of mind. Modern psychologists defined it as a science of behavior, both of animals and humans. It was Watson, the founder of the behaviorist school of thought, who postulated this definition. This definition is comprehensive in the sense that it identifies behaviors that are overt and can be observed, but this definition has some limitations as well. Uh, what kind of a definition is associated is basically linked with the mental process. Is associated, the definition is associated with the mental process. Furthermore, if we see it, the new scientific psychology is a fusion of two philosophies, that is, philosophers' psychology and the sensory psychology of the psychologist. Brain physiology, reflexology, and phenomenology. All these sciences have contributed to the development of psychology. So basically, psychology emerged from philosophy. Philosophers in the West as well as East were explaining thought and behavior. Addition of newer and better methods of investigating these explanations led to the emergence of psychology. So you need to further explore these things, and if you have any questions, you can ask. I know that you people are has very much clearance, are very much linked with the concepts which is previously associated with. And if you have the misconceptions related with the psychology, so it would be very much cleared about with these definitions and with these explanation. Furthermore, the subcontinental philosophical tradition, the ancient Indian philosophy existed much earlier than any other formal explanation. The earliest traces are found in the yogic philosophy prevailing in 100,000, sorry, 1000 BC. According to this philosophy, mind and body are interlinked and affect each other. Physical exercise helps mental development, and vice versa. The later philosophy, that is Vedic, postulated varied explanations in this regard. So, other thing is the Hippocrates 460 to 377 BC, one of the more important advances in Greek philosophy and science was the separation of the practice of medicines from religion. Hippocrates was a physician, was not only raised the standard of medical investigation, but also developed the code of ethics for the physicians. He, like a chameleon, stressed upon the significance of the brain in psychological processes, and he approached the problems of medicines systematically. He postulated a theory of humors that account for the basic human activity. He believed that the perfect health is the result of the proportionate, proportionate, proportionate mixture of these humors. To him, there were few basic humors that were associated with different temperaments. He believed that four temperaments form the personality. Number one is sanguine, cheerful, and active. Second is the other thing is the sad, angry, aggressive, and the last one is a calm and passive. The sad is a word associated with the melchanic, melancholic, chloric, and phlegmatic, phlegmatic aspects. These are some of the very important aspects which form a basic personality. And proportionate, proportionate the mixture of the humors, you can say that. So these are some of the aspects. These are some of the very important elements which is related with the. We can say that uh, the making the form of the personality, and then this personality can develop the cheerful and the active concepts, and then the other is the sad and angry and aggressive and calm and passive. And if we see the Muslims philosophy, so which is associated with the Ruhe Rabbani and Ruhe Hewani. The Ruhe Rabbani is basically the part of the soul that makes it possible for man to make a connection with God. At the same time, bodily needs should be not denied satisfaction. If there is a balance between a body and soul, then the individual is normal. Ruhe Hewani is basically man possesses nafs or the soul. This is very important. If you not understand these two concepts, please ask from me. I am telling you again and again. Please ask from me through LMS and through my WhatsApp number. So Ruhe Hewani is basically man possesses nafs or the soul. It is a force with the help of which man fulfill all his desire. So the level of nafs is associated with this is basically a Muslim philosophy. I'm talking about nafs is divided into three levels. Nafse mutme, mutmaina and nafse levo. You can say that nafse nati natikwa and nafse amara. So these are the three levels of nafs at this stage. The body at the first stage, nafs, uh, we can say that the these are different aspects associated with the philosophy. Then the Muslim philosophers associated with the concise and clear ideas about the types of the human nature and the human mind, and how this human mind, the power of the growth, the power of the reproduction, motive faculty, perceptive or cognitive aspects. So these are so many things which is associated with the element, and which is associated with the concepts uh, of the personality. So I would explain you further in my next class as well as, and you will see the others definition as well.